G'day everybody, and this is a little story that we are going to say. Now if you don't like me, you can piss off, fuck away. This is a story. So we don't like Brian and Pat anymore, buddy. You see, Pat was a man who prefers to be around young dudes a lot. But in hindsight, it's hard for some people to enjoy life with him, because he parties, and Brian, who was a little cookie to all the families who want to party at school. And as soon as he mucked with Pat, the family said, "We don't like you anymore, mate, because you are fucking shy." When you met Pat, even if Brian was going there to celebrate the end of school, and the Canberra folks weren't looking at it that way. You see, Pat was a nice man and tried to be nice to everyone. Sometimes too nice. But Brian, well, he wasn't shy. Actually, yeah, Brian was like the schoolies, because we partied at Dixon shops and we went to the mall, and as well as going to Happy Days Amusement Centre, and also go to basketball and have a hamburger after that was finished. And each member of Canberra, though, thought Brian was shy, but they just thought that. But those people were big, fat, conservative wankers, because all they care for is teasing. Teasing is horrible. Well, it can be nothing if it's just teasing, but in hindsight, teasing can be bad. Sometimes because of my schizophrenia, that Brian has got that voice. We don't like Brian and Pat anymore. Can ring in your fucking ears, making Pat say, "You're like me. You're like me. Brian, you're like me." Brian, in a way that can make Brian's head go all mental. And every time Brian wants to do anything to better his life, those stupid fucking conservative cunts get into Brian's head, making Pat say, "You're like me, buddy. You're like me, buddy." It's a fucking downgrade in a fucking downgrading way. So fucking downgrading, in fact, that Brian runs up the road telling Pat, "I'm so cool and you're so shy. I'm so cool and you're so shy." And as I got home, Pat said, "Come on, yeah, mate, yeah, kid. Move on." And Brian said, "I'm so cool and you're so shy." And as Brian got into his house, Pat said, "You're still a yimmy, yeah, kid, Brian. I know that's what your father does, but get fucked, man." Daniel running around in his head saying, "Woozy, woozy, woozy, woozy." And then Daniel, in a way that those men's kids in the past treating me like my brother in a slow old fogey way. "Wussy, wussy. You're still like your brother, Brian." And also, Brian's dad got really obsessed with trying to clear Brian's head and come out the back. And Brian was acting on the voice in his head of his next door neighbour, tying himself up, and the stupid Ernie Higgs, who nicked Brian's lunch, said, "Don't be shy, mate. Get teased by the young dudes, you fucking hooligan." And then Pat said, "You're not a hooligan, you're not like us anymore, Brian. So get fucked, boo." And then Brian's cousin Alan said, "I think I might spew. I think I might spew. I think I might spew on you, boo, yeah." I just and then And then said, Pat is like us now, Brian. And you had your chance at being a cool kid. Just go out to the pub and try to be like your father. You're not a cool kid anymore. And then Peter Buchanan said, yeah, mate. You are not like me. Oh, get fucked, mate. Yeah, all right, mate. Pat joined in with Peter Buchanan and then said, yeah, Mrs. Allen. I don't know what all that's about. And then the family next door said, get fucked, mate. Fuckhead. And Pat then got up and said, yep, you big fuckhead. Get fucked, Brian. I'll report to you, Rob. And Rob, who was Brian's boss at the YMCA, said, see ya. That's good, mate. And Pat said, yeah, you big fucker, get fucked, Brian. I'll report to you, Rob. And Rob said, gee, that is good, mate. And the YMCA all laughed at Pat. And then, as Brian went to the YMCA to do his work at the holiday program, Brian heard these weird voices of the people, Brian's aides, in the YMCA saying, you are not a man, you're too wussy to be a man. And the kid said, yeah, he is too wussy to be a man. And one kid, who the young dudes called Muscles, really used his yeah. Yeah, mate, like in a smile. Yeah, mate, I've got my teeth in a moment. Yeah, mate, with a smirky little grin, like he's a good kid. And after I finished at the holiday program, Brian's mate Pat said, I see what those young dudes say. You are too wussy to be a man, okay? You are too wussy to be a fucking man. And Brian went home, and Brian's dad came out and said, Brian, you need to settle down. And Brian said to his dad, you're not a man, Dad. You're too shy to be a fucking man. Mate, and every time Brian's mum showed affection, Brian turned his back. Only because those young men at the YMCA are cocky Christians who care nothing for the poor. You see, if I came up and built the YMBA, take the Christian out and put the Buddhist in, I can make Canberra peaceful and happy, away from those stupid delusional heaven people. That's right. And as I sang, Pat yelled out, it's Brian trying to be like us. So is Brian trying to be like us? Be a man. And so Brian ran up the hill saying, I'm so cool and you're so shy. I'm so cool and you're so shy. I'm so cool and you're so shy. Cool kids do what I do. Yeah, and the Americans do what you do, mate. And Brian got home and Brian jumped on his chair and then jumped up, and Pat jumped up and said, yeah, mate, looking at me when I was young. And later, Pat said, okay, I will like you. Okay, we still like you, Brian. And went up into the kitchen and got a few biscuits and then made himself ice cream and sat there eating it. And Brian's dad said, sit there, Patty. You are still like us. You see, Brian is getting our dandruff. And Dad went to work at the local school. And every time Brian tried to move around the house, Dad would reach his foot towards me and then brought it back to the blackboard like this. Moved it in and back. No one saw that anyway because it's on YouTube. Blackboard saying, "You are still a little kid, Bryony. You are too shy to be like Pat. So you just sit there. You just sit there and let the young dudes tease you." And Brian said, "It's you, the young dudes, are teasing, Dad." And Brian's brother got up and said, "No, we are teasing you, Bryony. Don't worry about the kids, Dad. Just teach your class, and I will make sure each fucking young dude teases Brian when he is like this." And Brian yelled out, "You are a fucking cunt! And I hate you! And I don't care for what we do." And then Pat said to my brother, "Ready, Chris, muck around in fucking bloody groups?" And said this every time Brian moved around. "Ready, Chris, muck around in fucking bloody groups?" Every time Brian cleaned his house, Pat would yell out, "Ready, Chris, muck around in fucking bloody groups?" And Brian said, "Okay, I will take this basketball out and I will tease you. You see, I don't really care about those old fogies in my parents' house." "Okay." And Pat tried to say, "Ready, Chris, muck around in fucking bloody groups?" But after 4 weeks of teasing Brian like this, Pat went back to his family, and when Brian sat in his house watching TV, Pat would say, "Ready, Brian, muck around little baby groups? Ready, Brian, muck around little baby groups?" Because Brian is like me, Bryony. And Brian yelled out, "Leave me alone, you fucking bat. I am a real family person, cunt." I said to Dad, "Shut up, you great big ugly snout. You're not like me and Brendan, Dad. You're not like me and Brendan, Dad." And Pat yelled out, "Don't muck with him anymore, Brendan. Because you are a kid now, Brainy." And Pat told Lolton to make Brian welcome there, and if he tries to be like us, bully Brian. Because Lowell, "You're a man," Pat said. And then Steve told Steve to muck with Brian in little younger groups, and if Brian tries to be like the TV men, tease, make him feel stupid, because only hooligans do what those old men on the TV do. And Brian, he is still like me, okay? And Brian needs to understand that Pat said Mr. Allen is like us. And you are one of us now, man. You push Brian away from being like us. Chris is like us, Brian, okay, Mr. Allen? Now, Mr. Allen knows this deal, and in this whole game, okay, and Pat said, as long as Brian understands he is still like me, nothing will go wrong. And Daniel yelled out, "Wussy, wussy, wussy." And then Brian decided to help out with the mentally ill, because Brian's problems were so mental. And yeah, there was this man who worked, but Brian thought that everyone was taking Brian's working man away, and Brian is happier. And then taking the conservative man away. And Pat said, "I know it's what Mr. Allen does, but get fucked, man." And Alan, my cousin, said, "I think I might spew. I think I might spew. I think I might spew on you, boo hoo. Because you are never, ever going to be a man to my point of view, Brian. Either you, Barry, but you're a father. And you're one of the men now. You're a real man, Pat. You're one of the men, Pat. You're one of the real men. And all the men will respect you till the day you die, buddy." And Brian, you will never be a man, okay? Because men don't tease. Barry was trying to be like me, Alan said. Ain't preaching the man into Brian, buddy. And Ernie said, no teasing, rich pricks. Brian is fucking shy to be a rich man, mate. You are a shy person. But if you're trying to be a hooligan, but I am not teasing you. You're a little wussy. You're not a hooligan. Yes, you are. Don't be shy, mate. I'm not a hooligan. Yes, you are. Be a hooligan. You are not like us anymore. Oh, okay. So piss off, you flaming hooligan. And Pat said, shut up, wussy, to him. And Dad said, in this quest to take over from the kids, to treat Brian like one of us, or like us now, man, and insisted that Mum helps in that process. And this drove Brian crazy. And he yelled, fuck! Leave me alone, you stupid parents! And regular fights broke out, with Brian acting as Kamari as law, keeping on yelling at Dad, saying, be like us! Don't be a fighter! Be a little quiet man! Be like us! Be nice to me! It's all right when I was a kid, but I am handling myself to you now. I'm a real man, cunt. And Dad went outside to get the mail, and I measured our argument measured on the Richter scale. Brian was really pissed off and needed a break. All this fucking teasing. Why aren't you helping me be a party dude, Dad? Why can't you be cool, Dad? Brian's dad said to Brian, I don't want to be cool, Brian. You're not like me and Chris. Brian got really angry, and World War III broke loose, as Brian yelled out, fuck, 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 fuck! Leave me the fuck alone, cunts! Because all you parents think about is helping my brother, dude, okay? And you let me work. It's stupid. Let's cause and stupid car detailing causes where everyone teases me. I hate that, okay? Fuck! 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 You see, I stole some money of a mate I drank with in the club. Steve said you shouldn't have done that, Brian. It is wrong. Steve did say that. And Brian hit one really retarded boy down the mall in the back because the boy isn't one of Brian's mob. And Brian yelled out, fuck! 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 And Brian was so fucking pissed off with the people in this story, he went into Myer and stole a Canberra Comets cap and went to the Canberra Comets games and watched Big Merv doing his stretches in the outfield and watches footy as well, stealing money from his mate James. Yeah, Brian was a bad person. And the voice from Athena put into Cronus, who is Brian. And we don't like Brian and Pat anymore until Brian gets better and understands that he was a fool. Athena said, Brian, you are Cronus. And I am sure Athena is Dad, but I'm not really that sure. Because Dad is quite content in sitting on his chair watching the detective dramas on TV, and his wife and Brian found it hard. And Pat put his voice in Brian's head of Pat mucking around with each young dude, right until Brian starts to settle down. Pat turned himself into a cool kid to every young dude, right until Brian starts to settle down. Pat turned himself into a cook. There we go. Okay. Dream of mine. Well, I struggled with young dudes on Earth, except for the party dude. Mind you, I love parties better than, and I can squeeze my cool kid into the future. Work dudes, okay? And that is dead. But has been reborn as Anna in the USA after a 34-week pregnancy with a lot of problems. And Brian yelled out, "Fuck! Enjoy, leave me alone and enjoy your new life. I am fucking reformed." And Ernie said, "You are not reformed, you disabled cunt." And Brian yelled out, "Fuck! Fuck! I want to be heard. I'm a person. I'm not a hooligan anymore. I want to be heard. Fuck! I want to be a family person. Leave me alone, you fuckwit. I am reformed. Not a loser to the poor. I'm a loser to the rich. Goodbye. Okay? See ya."